We're interrupting your regular programming with some breaking news. Israel has initiated a retaliatory strike against Iran.
However, in case the Israeli regime embarks on adventurism again and takes action against the interests of Iran, the next response from us will be immediate and at a maximum level.
There are reports this evening that other places, Iraq and Syria, have been hit. This U.S. senior official said they simply cannot confirm that.
پدافنده کار میکنه. پدافنده هوایی داره کار میکنه. از شرق اصفهان.
When people are talking about, hey, are we watching the makings of World War III, your response?
So we are seeing a regional conflict. So everything that the U.S. was concerned about has happened.
We didn't know when it would come. And of course, this is in response to that massive missile salvo from last Saturday, the largest ballistic missile salvo in history. And of course, Iran has said that if Israel chooses to respond, the Iranian response would be severe and immediate.
Local media is reporting explosions in the Iranian city of Isfahan. Isfahan sits about 200 miles to the south of the Iranian capital of Tehran. At this location, there is an Iranian nuclear facility. There are also reports of activity at other locations across Iran. This is significant because, remember, the initial reporting leading up to tonight had to do with what might be a limited Israeli response to this large-scale attack last weekend.
That said, I don't want to be hyperbolic and start talking about World War III. Yes, this is significant, but it can be de-escalated and it can be put back in the box. And that's really going to come with the world superpowers stepping in and talking to both sides, obviously the United States with Israel, Russia with Iran, and talking about the need to contain and de-escalate. So we'll see, as Elizabeth said, just how significant these attacks were or weren't, and whether this could be the end of it, and whether Iran will then respond. But it is important to point out this is how World War I started. It was something that essentially spiraled out of control. I don't think this is going to happen here, but it is very concerning, and it is something that everybody should be paying attention to because it definitely affects everybody right now.
Again, the Israelis have a variety of targets they could hit, not just inside Iranian territory, but across the region, understanding that Iran's IRGC has bases in places like Iraq and Syria, and they're also supporting Shia militias that are operating in those areas that give them what has been described to Fox News as an octopus's tentacles across the Middle East, stretching Iranian influence not only to threaten Israel, but also to threaten American forces across the region. Because as we saw since the October 7th massacre and the regional tension that followed, numerous attacks against American bases across the Middle East. And so part of this response likely to strike fear into these Iran-backed Iraqi and Syrian Shia militias that are operating across the region. And if it is confirmed in Isfahan, this city that is just about 200 miles to the south of Tehran, this would be significant because it shows the Israelis are stepping up their strikes against Iranian nuclear facilities. You might remember back in 2020, it was November of 2020, the Israelis in a covert operation killed the top Iranian nuclear scientist, Mohammad Fakhrizadeh. Now, this is a man who was responsible for years when it came to Iran's nuclear program and their developments toward a nuclear weapon. Remember, when the Iran nuclear deal from 2015 collapsed, Iran started enriching uranium closer and closer to weapons-grade material. And the biggest concern for Israel was that they would ultimately create a nuclear weapon and then attach that warhead to a ballistic missile, like a missile that was fired toward Israel over the weekend, and target the Jewish state with such a projectile. We understand the breakout period is anywhere from just 0 days to a matter of days and possibly even a week, according to international observers. And the concern for Israel is that they could use this enriched uranium to create a nuclear bomb that would target this country.
But yeah, other than that, hey, that's a distraction. It's shot out there. People eating it up. They're going to throw another one in the next few days. And then they're going to be throwing bombs somewhere. Because that's coming. You know? And real soon, guys. I'm telling you, real soon. Something's going to pop off. And it's going to involve same people. Terrorism. You know? And this one is going to run amok. It's going to be Mr. 19 all over again, but with a goddamn invisible boogeyman, a different one. They took it. We were from 2020 to 2023. So yeah, man, this shit is there's real shit going on, and they're telling you, and they do it under the stars. They do it under the constellations, right? It's now before Aries over, it's going to be official. Americans might not know it, and truthers might not know it, but it's going to be official by them. They've already let you know. When they captured that fucking ship, right? Iran captures a ship, and it's ironically to a noble family. Olaf's, the noble family. Motherfuckers never even heard of these motherfuckers, but they are wealthier than wealth, and they're connected to a lot of other wealthy people that we never even fucking heard of before. It's a lot of motherfuckers that are these so-called elite that don't need us anymore. It's a lot of them. There's a whole bunch of them motherfuckers, man. Shit we never even heard of. Like, goddamn, I didn't know they owned this, they owned that, they owned that, they owned this fucking piece of land. Goddamn. But they captured their ship, and it's called the fucking Zodiac Group. The ship is called Aries. They're telling you. And I didn't took me any kind of numbers to figure that shit the fuck out. They're telling you. Right? We're in Aries. Whoa, that can't be a coincidence. It's after the eclipse. Oh, that can't be a coincidence. Everything's escalating in the realms of war. Oh, that can't be a coincidence. Gotta protect our loved ones, man, and be alert. That's it. Because, things are gonna happen. Sunday they were in the United Nations after Iran struck. And then, the mainstream really isn't going to tell you anything, but this is what they do. There are negotiations now about, the war, the strategies, what they're going to do, what justifies what. And one nation is playing how, according to their international rules and on conflicts, that they got a right to retaliate. They got to, it is what it is. Self-defense. It works from your own individual level all the way up to somebody created a nation and that level. That's how far it goes. But, people don't always play by the rules. So it is what it is. But the war has been going on. It increased, and it's going to continue. And it's going to come to these lands. All right? And you got to remember, okay? If you think about the Death to America, right? Death to America does not come from the mindset of those people over there. All right. Death to America was some type of campaign, okay? And what they did all these years is, just like they brainwashed us, they brainwashed millions of those people, okay? Because they got a plan. And their plan has been going on longer than America's even existed. This is why when people say, you don't realize that this plan existed before America was created, okay? Before the corporation was found, the new lands, these motherfuckers been at war. All right, they've been at war. Think about that. So, gotta think. Just look at that Iranian president. Tell me what you see. And, you know, Israel and Iran, after the eclipse of the sun, which is, you know, Ra. Shout out to my brother Truth Virus. Is the sun Ra? Right? So you got Israel and Iran in Aries, which is the first month, right? In the time of, you know, sun's energy returning, right? So the ascension. So yeah, it's a lot.